It's impacting our children, whether or not there's a shooting on their campus. They see these things and hear them, and I refuse to accept that this is going to be normal in our country.
Liz Becker is with Moms Demand Action, the Nevada chapter, an organization created to stop gun violence across the country. She also has a daughter in the Clark County school system.
I do worry about my child, and all of us worry about our children, and we shouldn't think to ourselves, oh, I'm going to send my child to school and then, get a call that the school's on lockdown or that my child's not coming home. That's not acceptable.
The most recent incident in Clark County happened outside Chaparral High School last week.
LVMPD dispatch received multiple phone calls for shots fired heard in the area, as well as a potential victim,
leaving some students like this freshman who wanted to remain anonymous shaken.
We all got really scared, and we started praying for our lives and stuff, so I was pretty nervous, and then they had us locked out in the rooms.
Metro Police announced that 3 people were shot in that incident, 2 Chaparral students. While students on campus were unharmed, advocates like Becker say more needs to be done to keep gun violence away from schools.
And our organization really focuses on the gun safe storage aspect, because if the students don't have access to firearms, then they can't bring them to school, and they can't use them in a suicide attempt.
Back in June, the CCSD Board of Trustees voted to include flyers in student registration packets that talk about the importance of parents securing guns at home. Since then, from August to December of 2021, 17 BB guns, 14 handguns, a long gun, 73 knives, and 34 other weapons were confiscated at CCSD schools.
Sometimes, there will be a fight on campus and then students are searched, and that's how they're finding the weapons. In some cases, students have opened their backpack and a weapon has fallen out. Sometimes other students will report that someone has a weapon.
Is there something that you believe CCSD needs to do to prevent gun violence?
Outside of gun safe storage promotion, Becker started going down a list of other actions she's hoping for, including mental health resources.
They don't have that outlet of enough mental health professionals to help them through this, and if there's unsecured guns in a home, it's an easy, solution that they think of because they're children and they don't think through the actions that they might be contemplating.
Crisis in the Classroom reported in December that the district plans to spend a portion of its $1.2 billion in COVID federal relief funding on supporting more than 130 social workers and 140 counselors. Here's what School Board Trustee Linda Cavazos has to say about mental health resources in the district and the role they play in preventing gun violence. Cavazos, also a volunteer with Moms Demand Action, says she is a survivor of gun violence.
What we're looking at right now is being more proactive and looking at the underlying causes. So I would have to say that we have some excellent programs in place right now as far as identifying when there's warning signs, but we also need more people, and that's what we're struggling with right now.
So what do you do about getting more people?
She said in part,
for this next year, and our human resources department is working very hard at acquiring more substitutes, at recruitment efforts that are, shall we say, innovative, different from what we've done in the past, and not only recruiting people to our district, but then we have to keep them.
But is it enough? Some parents brought up the idea of adding metal detectors in our schools as a preventative measure. I took that idea to Becker and Cavazos.
I think it just adds to the feeling that students have of almost being like in an institution, like it's institutionalized, and it paints students as criminals, really. But, if there has been a lot of gun violence, is that going to be a solution? I don't know. I'm not going to say one way or the other whether I think CCSD should implement something like that, but I know that that is, a discussion, but it's a discussion that also comes with a huge outlay of money.
So some parents feel that it would be very effective. Some administrators feel it would be very effective. Others are looking at the logistics. How long would it take to get 3,600 kids in the doors in the morning? What would that do to our starting and ending times and that's just been changed recently too, as I'm sure you know. So there's a lot of different perspectives.
In the meantime, Becker says the district needs to be more transparent when weapons are found at schools.
It is not acceptable to just say these weapons were found and then have no follow-up. What was done about that? How did that student get that weapon?